Whew. I need a nap. That one was a rugged Big Ten fight, that's for sure. And give Penn State a lot of credit. I have a lot of respect for them. As I said going into the game, Pat's team always play exceptionally hard, and I thought they really tried to attack us off the bounce, put us in some really difficult position, got us in foul trouble. And we did not attack the press very well, and that's my fault. I should have had our guys better prepared for that. But give our guys a lot of credit. I thought they made gutsy plays and finished the game, like we needed to.
Chris, you had a lot to overcome in this game, from the court to the whistles to the turnovers. What ultimately enabled you to find a way to win this one late?
I think our guys showed great will and just stayed with it and tried to make one more play. And I thought we played a little smarter at them down the stretch than we have in some other games, with the exception of a foul here or there. Dwayne gave us a tremendous lift, but like his foul was not the way we need to play. I just thought we played a little bit smarter in our attack, and that was important for us. But honestly, we expected a game like this. Like if you'd have told me, hey, this game's going to go down to the last minute, it's going to be a one-possession game, I'd have said, yep, I'd bet money on that.
Are those things that you can build on as a little bit of success here in a couple of games, and you've had to tough out some wins? Are those things, the turnovers are still an issue and things like that, but can you build on things like that you're finding some toughness late in games like this?
I hope so. I hope so. I think it was a good team effort with a lot of guys making contributions when Caleb was in and out because of foul trouble, and when it was hard to get him the ball when they were shoving, 2 or 3 guys at him in a post trap situation. So I think we had other guys step up and really make plays, and that's what you need. Obviously, teams are there's going to be certain teams that are just going to eliminate how many times Caleb can touch the ball, and we've got to have other guys make plays, and we really did. Andre was terrific, and Dwayne was the most efficient he's been in terms of how effective he was. Luther gave us a lift. I thought CJ made some critical plays there too, and Keyshawn.
Chris, how important was Kyle Young, especially late in the game, returning from injury, making the impact that he did?
Well, I thought his shot fake finish was big there late. Showed great poise, and rebounded it well. Played with activity. He's Kyle. That's who Kyle is, and we've missed that. And we've missed his experience too. Jay's given us some really good minutes, but it's just Kyle's got more experience right now.
What was the conversation like coming into this game? You called him day to day on Wednesday. Did you expect him to play today? What was kind of that conversation like?
Yeah, he's been on a minutes restriction, so I in my head I thought 15 minutes. Potentially, depending on foul trouble, is what I thought. It's not like he's been out for 6 months, but so we were going to still play him fairly regularly, but I was worried about his conditioning.
What did you think of the job that Andre and Kyle did guarding Stevens?
I thought they did a really good job. And our bigs helped with some of our post trapping that we did on him, or some of our trapping with him. He's a terrific player. I think we talked about yesterday, he was a part of that recruiting class with Watkins and him and Carr that were just top. I think it was top 15 in the country. He's a terrific talent. So I give Andre a lot of credit because he battled the whole night.
And I think we've asked you a little bit about this, but I think most expected Luther to provide an impact for you guys defensively. Have you been able to go to him more offensively than you anticipated? Is his shot making at maybe a little higher level than you thought it might be?
Yeah, and I thought he made a really good decision on the drift pass. And he just, he is our guy right now that has the ability to kind of go get something. And sometimes our other guys can struggle with that. It's not necessarily who they are as players. I think Dwayne will grow into that, but right now he can go get one, at least get a clean look. So that's why we've tried to put him in some of those situations.
The man on the street doesn't realize how hard it is to play when the game's up and down and there's like reviews all the time and fouls.
Yeah.
What about that last minute, Chris? What did you talk to about the team during the breaks, and what was discussed, and what did you see from your team?
I thought we did a good job. Obviously, they missed a layup there. That's a tough one. They're going to make that 9.9 out of 10 times. They're going to make that, but that would have been a tie game. We would have had the ball the last possession. But I just thought we did, we did a good job in some areas that we needed to in terms of finishing the game. I thought we did a good job switching the baseline out of bounds or side out situation. Kid made a good pass. Reeves made a really good pass. I think Reeves is the best defender I've ever coached against. He's that gifted with his ability to anticipate things, and he's like a rover out there all the time. He is just the best perimeter defender I've ever coached against. He's fantastic. But I felt like we did a good job on the switch. They just threw it over. Stevens got it, but clearly did not get it off. I just watched it. It was clear that it was still in his hands. Perhaps we need a little more home cooking on the shot clock next time. But leave that up to another day.
You mentioned not being surprised at coming down to a single possession, but you guys were up 15 in the first half, up 9 in the second. When you're in talking to the guys in those situations and knowing that these games have gone the way they have in the past, what do you tell them? Do you caution them that this gets close? Do you try and encourage them to?
I just think you try to stay in the moment, and you try to stay in the moment as much as possible and stay poised and try to not get frustrated. I thought last year against these guys here, we got frustrated, really frustrated, and it led to in last year's group was tremendous with the lead. Like we didn't lose too many leads, a time or two, but we were really good with leads. But I thought last year they jumped us here and we got frustrated, and it snowballed, particularly in the second half, and I think it got to 13. We knew they were going to keep coming. They have a great way about them in terms of how they fight as a team. We anticipated this was going to be a very difficult matchup. At no point did I think we were going to run away with this thing with a 13 or 15-point lead. I would have rathered that, but I don't think any of us. We just tried to stay in the moment. We made some mistakes. Coaches and players made some mistakes. We just tried to move on to the next one.
Chris, I know I just asked you about Luther Muhammad after the game last weekend, but he seems to want the ball in his hands for a freshman, maybe more than you would have thought. The defense, Bill touched on that, how much he's bringing you. He talked trash. He seemed to provide energy. He seems to be doing a lot more than I would have projected for him. Is this surpassed your expectations for year one?
I've been asked that a lot, and we felt like he was going to make a pretty strong, immediate impact. Now, did I anticipate in a game that goes down to the wire that he makes, he has 20 points, 4 assists, no turnovers? I'm not saying that, but we anticipated that he was going to make us really a real impact from day one. And some of that was when you look at our roster too, right? We're kind of building our roster, and we knew there was going to be great opportunity for him.
You said that you started to run some plays for him. Obviously, we can see that. But is there any part of conversation between you two where you're having to encourage him to, when he has the ball, look for a shot more often? Because he had 24 one night, and he has no points the next game, and he'll do something like this. Is there any part of you that's kind of encouraging him to look for his shot a little bit more? Yeah,
we've talked to him about that, but I haven't sensed a whole lot of tentativeness from him, to be honest with you. A couple of our other guys I have, and I've had that conversation. He's not been real tentative. He's been pretty assertive, but we need him to stay that way.
And also, CJ, Caleb, Andre, and one other are usually in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And Luther are usually the 4 guys who are consistently in the starting lineup. Are you and then we'll see Musa, we'll see Dwayne, Kyle. Are you still kind of looking for that fifth consistent guy to be a starter for you?
Yeah, I am, but I don't know that there'll be too many significant changes moving forward. Yeah, you could say that for sure. I think we got to figure out who that's going to be.
Hey, Chris. Wanted to ask you about CJ. He's such an interesting player to watch moment to moment.
Yeah.
And I wondered, tonight was one of those nights where tough moment, moment of brilliance. How do you as a head coach manage a player with his kind of experience and having games like that? What's your message to him, your communication with him, and then the way he maybe pulled through at the end of this game that showed some toughness?
Yeah, it did show some toughness in his mind as much as anything, right? That's I think what you're referring to, his ability to move on. You know, obviously coached him 2 years now, so we've had a few of these moments together. I've had a few of these looking over at our bench saying, what are we doing? And I just have to catch myself. And because that's kind of who he is, we want to eliminate some of those moments where it's frustrating, but he can be a guy that can change a game with his ability to. He had a couple finishes tonight. He competes. He plays exceptionally hard. I think him handling those frustrating moments has been maybe a great sign of growth, and not just this year, even last year. He's so important to us that if he loses kind of his spirit, then we got, as coaches, we can't let that happen, if that makes sense.
Chris, what challenges did their press present
Is it
you
hot
guys?
in here, you guys? Okay.
Little, yeah. What challenges did their press present you guys? That a couple times it just seemed like you were running the same spot.
I did not feel like we handled it very well, and I take responsibility for that. I take responsibility. I just didn't think that it's on me. You know, we prepared for so much with these guys because of how they have how they've hurt us in the past. I mean, I watched every one of their league games. I just didn't have our guys ready enough for the press because I didn't anticipate it being that much of a factor. It's my fault. So we got to get better with it.
What was going on with the court? What were they telling you guys? It looked like it was just condensation all over the place.
Yeah, I think just warm. It's warm everywhere, and I think there was just moisture and guys were slipping, and they were concerned about the player safety, as was I.
Even with Caleb being limited to 6 points, your team was still plus 17 with him on the court. Even when he's not scoring, what makes the team work so much better when Caleb is able to play on the
A great passer, tremendous passer, competes. The defense has to be aware of him at all times. You know, he can rebound it. I think he's a terrific screener. And then defensively, I thought he was tremendous in the first half with some of our stuff with Stevens. I thought in the second half I didn't think as much because I think he was more tentative with foul trouble. I thought he was really good in the first half. And he played through some frustration from just not being able to get in a rhythm like he has, but he's got to continue to fight through that.
I'll ask you about Indiana since we're not going to have another session before then.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Double overtime, I think, last year there, and you guys gutted out the win, and CJ hit the big shot. Just you don't know what they're doing right now, obviously, against Iowa or what that result's going to be, but I don't know, just your thought. I mean, they've had kind of an up-and-down year, but have sparked a couple huge wins here.
They really have. That was a tremendous road win at Michigan State. Goodness gracious. Tremendous road win. I think they're really talented with Morgan, who's tremendous and a tremendous mismatch. They've got some bench. They've had a lot of injuries, but they've got a couple of those guys back. Davis is back now. Obviously, Romeo's terrific. You know, Archie does a great job. It's going to be a great. And that environment there is one of the best in our league, and we know that. So. we're going to need to play really well. I think they probably have gotten a lot of life from just how they played at Michigan State.
I don't know if I was just like seeing things weird, but did all your assistants have on this exact same tie?
It was a literacy, 2nd and 7, literacy. It was a green tie that I think they wore them as well, the Penn State group as well. It's just advocating literacy.
Guessing you're not a tie guy because you went with the Penn.
No, yeah, I thought about it, and I just said we'll go open collar. I was, 0 for 3 against Penn State with the tie, Okay. Excuse me? Got a book you want to recommend? At some point I'll share with you my top 10 all-time favorite books. I am a reader. I enjoy reading. I'm reading a book, biography on Belichick right now. It's a significant read. It's interesting. But I do have some favorites. I'd have to think about what they all are, but I do have some favorites. Okay, thanks, guys.